I just wanted to say, when I come to the Fleetwood, if Earl was there, it was like, oh yes, Earl's there. And I would sit next to Earl, and then he would give you some good advice. And I think that's what I'm gonna miss, coming to the Fleetwood and not seeing Earl there and not being able to sit next to him.
The thing that reminded of us of Earl was laughing, being with friends, being so happy, and all those things. And I think if any of us have a chance to be remembered, I think that's probably one of the best ways you can do it.
Yeah.
By complete happiness and laughing as loudly as you can. So, yeah, that was every moment with Earl mostly. He would light up the room, not with his smile, even though that did work, but mostly with his laughing. That was great. Thank you.
We named it after Earl. He came to our very first game and had a blast. And the next day at the Fleetwood, I was like, "Are you gonna come to the next game?" He's like, "I don't think so." And I got so excited that I couldn't. It took me way too long to relax again. He was one of the only people that kickball was a little bit too extreme. But he was always involved. He always wanted to know how he did and supported the bus and everything like that. So I'm happy everyone's here, to celebrate Earl. I love that everyone's, remember his laugh. Can anyone do an impression of Earl's laugh? I think someone should try it. Actually, what I really do think is that we should all try it at the same time. Because it would mortify Earl. Do you guys want to do it? Yeah. All right. On the count of 3, it's going to be Earl laughing. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, guys.
Earl wanted to feel important and productive, and he was talking to me about trying to find a job. And he was telling me all the reasons why he couldn't find a job. And then we started talking about volunteer opportunities. Well, Earl, you've created a community. How much more opportunity is there? Thank you so much. We love you.
Beyond being very moved by his sudden absence, he was so present in our lives. My wife, Abiba, has been working there for quite a while, and he's just been part of our lives for so long that it's a very painful absence that's now created. But I'm also moved, by you all and how welcoming this community was to him.
1992 or something. That's when we got Fleetwood Diner the first time, From that time, Earl started becoming like our family, Then all these years, all the time, he will say something, "Oh, Andy doesn't like me." But he was talking always to my wife, saying, "I know Andy sometimes doesn't like me." I said, "Oh no, don't mess with my wife." But lately, and my daughters, they fall in love with him, I said, Uncle Earl, They were calling Uncle Earl, and Thanksgiving Day, we were open, and Earl came in the morning, and I said, Earl, are you coming today to my house, are you? He said, what are you talking about? I said, my daughter's inviting you for Thanksgiving. He said, no, I'm making my own Thanksgiving, he said. I got my turkey. Yeah, Earl was something else, he was part of our family, part of our life, we're gonna miss him. It's nothing, it will be the same without Earl, all these years. Everybody knows him.
Thanks everyone for being here. We were both really good friends with Earl. We spent a lot of time hanging out at the Fleetwood with him, playing rummy, having spirited political debates. Earl and I had many sports bets. I still owe him 2 lunches at Cosmo's Deli from gambling bets gone that I lost. The last time that I saw Earl was at my wedding in April. I was walking down the aisle, and the first person I saw was Earl. He was standing up and he gave me a big smile and a big hug as I walked down the aisle. And we had a great time, and we were dancing, and he called me several months later, and he was just talking to me about life and telling me what was going on. And he was telling me he may need a hip replacement, and I was so worried that it was because of dancing at our wedding, but most likely wasn't.
My name is Vivi, and I'm gonna try not to cry, so I might turn towards Sam. So I was at the Fleetwood like 10 years ago, and I saw Earl sitting at the counter, and he had a folder. It was like a school folder with like the pockets on the inside, and I had never seen him carry a folder before. So I had asked him what was in there, and he pulled out this sheet of paper, and he handed it to me, and he was like, "Oh, go ahead, read it." And I read it, and I'm gonna read to you what was on that piece of paper. But 10 years later, I moved to California, and I called him and I said, "Hey, Earl, do you have that poem that you wrote? Because I just think it's so special, and I just want to make sure that someone has it so that doesn't get lost, or that it's just part of your memory somewhere." So he sent this to me on January 26, 2016. And this is a poem that he wrote back in June of 2007. So I'm going to read it, but I'm going to turn this way. Actually, can you read it?
Yeah.
Okay, just kidding. Sam's going to read it because I'm going to cry.
Let me alone. I am poor and sick of being pricked and prodded, peeked at and pushed onto the conveyor belt of modern medicine, to be talked about in hidden corners with faceless professionals. Give me back my clothes and my dignity. Take your medicine and shove it. Nauseating nodules of numbing nonsense. They tell us that we are getting better. They tell us that we should hope for better times and fortunes, but for now, we need to cope. The TV blasts and blares, the radio sings us songs, the neighbor shifts and settles, and then our dreams come along. Soon the birds are chirping and singing to tell us of another day. Lord, we pray for fame and fortune, but we'll take what comes our way. Earl U.
My name's Faith, and I'm his I was a sister sibling right under him, but there's like a good 3 to 4 years difference. And I'm like smack in the middle. I had 5 brothers and sisters above me and 5 brothers and sisters below, 5 sisters below me. So he was kind of considered the older half that, you know, went to Seattle, and I heard from other people, like from school that he went to, which was Watson Gruen, that he was very popular with the girls.
And my hope is that we can go forth from this gathering today taking something of Earl's spirit with us, to do the work of justice so that all might have their place at the table, all might enjoy the good things of life. To be like Earl by taking the time to recognize the importance of relationships, friendship, and community. To be like Earl in being able to appreciate one another and the good things in life. To be like Earl in being able to laugh at the horrors and absurdities, but also the beauty and goodness. May it be so. Thank you all for coming.